Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're having a lovely, lovely, lovely Mother's Day today. It's been so great to be here again, and I'm so grateful for everyone who has liked my post, shared my post. I've had plenty of comments coming through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. So I'm so grateful to you guys. Thank you very much. As I said, this is all about raising awareness of starting with Crohn's and colitis. There's going to be so many other ones that are in the pipeline that we'll go through later on today. Just wanted to say it's so weird that how many people have actually come back as a result of the live in terms of people that are suffering. And actually, I say suffering, but suffering in silence. So today, I'm so grateful to my lovely brother here, Sahil,
Hi everyone.
who's joining me today to raise awareness of ulcerative colitis, where I've been suffering from Crohn's. He has colitis. They're sort of the same, come from the sort of same sort of part of the body, but they have different reactions in terms of what you can eat, and everyone suffers differently. So this is more of a live, not to do with myself, because I've already done a live on my journey and how I've got to where I am now. This is more of a journey for Sahil, and we're going to open it up to a discussion later on as well. So yeah, please do share this live link to anyone who you think may be interested. I know it is Mother's Day, so I know that there's going to be a lot of people that won't be on live today, but please, even after this, it will be saved on my feed, on Sahil's feed as well. He's also tagged into this post. So please do join us. And we are so sorry of being about an hour and a half late. We just got caught up with family stuff, with Mother's Day. We lost track of time. So this will not happen again. But we're here. That's the main thing. That's what we need to concentrate on. So I'm now going to introduce, as I said, my lovely friend, Sahil. And we're going to go through a Sahil story, which is living with ulcerative colitis.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes, I've met Sagar about 6 months ago and recently discovered that he's had Crohn's for quite some time now. And we obviously share a similar story. So I thought it would be a good idea to have a discussion on Crohn's and colitis and see if we can actually help people and provide any support to whoever might need it. In terms of my story, I've had colitis for the last 6 years, and the exact cause is still not known, even though I've seen a few gastroenterologists and tried some alternative medical treatments as well. So how it started, I'm not exactly sure, but back in 2013, one morning I woke up and it just started bleeding. And it was just a big confusion for me as to what was going on. So I was having the normal symptoms, and then I visited my doctor. And yeah, initially he couldn't figure out. So we were experimenting with the medication, and I was losing a lot of weight, as you would when you initially have colitis or Crohn's. So luckily, I had planned a trip to India at the end of that year, and I got the diagnosis done, had a colonoscopy. And yeah, that's when I discovered that I had colitis, but never really knew the seriousness of it and what it can lead to in the future. So I've been taking Asacol since then, and I was prescribed 800 mg 3 times a day. Amidst that, in the last 6 years, I've tried to experiment with naturopathy and Ayurveda. They've had varying results, but nothing sustaining and long-lasting in terms of putting me into remission yet. But the good thing is I have reduced my dose slightly, so it's definitely under control. But diet is something that you definitely have to be mindful of, which a lot of people who have colitis would be aware of.
Okay.
In terms of emotional support, I would say my family's been there for me whenever I needed them, but whenever I've lost a lot of weight, I remember there were two instances where basically I lost a lot of weight. I remember back in 2015 was the first time after it was diagnosed, and more recently at the end of 2017, where I basically had a breakup, and it had a big impact on me emotionally.
Okay.
And so after I had that weight loss in 2015, I had gone to India for a couple of months, and I tried to get some naturopathy treatment done. That's when I also learned to do a bit of pranayam.
Yep.
So doing that with naturopathy definitely helped me. And that's something that I've been trying to do regularly every morning, is have that pranayam practice.
Okay.
Because not only it provides you that, I guess, mental strength to combat the symptoms that you have when you have colitis.
Okay.
But it's also good for your physical well-being.
So just going back on the pranayam, just for people that might not know what it is, what is pranayam?
Pranayam is all about controlling your breath and learning to master how you use it.
Okay.
There are many forms of pranayam. I think there's 5 or 7 different ones. And I guess correct me if I'm wrong. But there's 2 or 3 main ones which I do, and I try and spend about half an hour every morning.
Okay.
By the end of it, I mean, people might have varying results, but generally my body feels much cooler, and I feel a lot calmer as well.
Okay.
And that really sets me up for the day. And in terms of symptoms, usually I feel really healthy and energetic throughout the day.
Right.
Providing obviously I'm eating the right food and not eating anything that irritates my bowels.
Okay. I just want to touch up on something you said earlier on diet, because one of the things that I had to do in order to figure out what I can and what I can't eat, living with Crohn's, was I had to keep a diary.
Yeah.
And if my flare up happened the day after, I have to, just to narrow out or eliminate what food is affecting it, I had to eat the same food the next day.
Yeah.
Even though I knew that it's going to affect me the next day.
Yeah.
Just to figure out whether it's that specific food. So is there anything different that you can tell, our lovely viewers here, of what other ways are there to actually, find out what type of foods affect you and what don't?
Food-wise, obviously, lactose is a big no-no generally, depending on the tolerance that you have.
I was just going to say, so is that something that the doctors have told you, or nutritionists, or is that something that you figured out? Because this is where I'm trying to help, we are trying to help the viewers, because doctors say one thing.
Doctors definitely told me.
Okay.
And I think generally with ulcer, it's a known fact that you are going to get some degree of lactose intolerance.
Okay.
And this when I actually reflected back before I had colitis.
Okay.
I could see the symptoms coming, because I used to have breakfast cereal in the morning before going to university. And thinking back about it, I used to have those belching and acidic symptoms.
Okay.
Especially when I had prolonged period of hunger.
Yeah.
Which again, when you have colitis, it's not a good thing to do.
I do, yeah.
Because then your gut starts irritating.
Yeah.
If you don't eat on time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, food-wise, I have experimented with it, and it definitely requires a balance. But personally, I still haven't cut out dairy completely. I try and limit it.
Okay.
And keep a balance on it.
Okay, so
generally it's okay. There, as I said, I think even those who don't have colitis, there's a varying degree of lactose intolerance in most human beings.
Yeah. Okay. And just going back on the emotional support, the support that you had with from your family and friends, was it something that they easily understood, or how did you explain it to them? Because I've realized with my condition, that not the immediate family, because I made them understand, but with the extended family, they never understood what Crohn's actually was. It took well, I ended up giving up telling them because I realized that I need to control this myself. And of course, if that support was there, it would have been amazing. I had my immediate family that supported me well, and I'm so grateful for that. But how did you explain it to your family when you found out that you had ulcerative colitis? Was it easy, or was there any publications that you gave to them to read?
Well, in immediate family, they could obviously see the symptoms.
Okay.
So for them,
what were the symptoms?
Generally, as I said, bleeding was one, severe weight loss.
Right.
When I had food, basically I couldn't digest it.
Okay.
So I had to just rush to the toilet. And there was a bit of sorry feeling actually, initially, I would say.
Yeah.
Because my parents couldn't see me in that condition, that I was losing so much weight, I was down on energy, didn't feel like doing anything. But luckily, when I went to India first time, when it was diagnosed, my dad came with me.
Okay.
So he supported me a lot through it. And after I started medication, it took a couple of weeks, and the symptoms started coming under control.
Okay.
Luckily, I've never had to take steroids or be hospitalized.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
a good thing.
Fortunate, yeah. But in terms of extended family, even back then, I met a few of my relatives. The first question would be, what's wrong with you? Why have you lost so much weight?
Yeah.
And you try and explain to them this is the reason. So they've been quite supporting in the sense that if you tell there's certain foods you can't eat,
yep,
they were always aware of that, and they wouldn't make that food for me when I was with them.
And so from where you were 6 years ago to when you got diagnosed,
yep,
to where you are now, do you think that you've seen any improvement because you now sort of have reflected back and put specific things into place, into action, that you see yourself getting better with that? Or do you think you will come off medication, or do you think that's still an effect that you would have to take medication for life until they find a cure?
No, I mean, I'm still taking medication, but as I said, it's less than the dose I was taking when I was initially diagnosed.
Oh, but that's a very
so
good
that's
thing.
A good thing.
Yeah.
But as I said, there were two key moments in these 6 years when I remember it got worse, especially end of 2017 when I had the breakup, as I said, and I decided to go to India for 4 months. So I remember losing about 15 kgs in a span of 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
Since then, I would say I've recovered well.
Okay.
But as I said, I think you need some sort of routine which you stick to.
Okay.
Which gives you that mental stability. Because at times I've noticed you just get random mood swings, and then you try and figure out what's actually wrong with me. Nothing's wrong, but then I've also noticed the food that you eat also has an impact on you, especially if it irritates your gut, because the gut is actually known to be your second brain.
Yeah.
And that's something I guess doctors haven't extensively spoken to me about.
Okay.
So, but overall, I would say I'm in a better position than I was, and I understand more as to what I should eat and what I shouldn't.
Amazing. And I'm sure that meditation and pranayama and everything that you do supports that as well.
Yeah.
In terms of keeping your mind clear. And as I said to you guys before, and it's so nice. Well, not nice, but it's the reason for this live. It's good to hear what someone else suffers from, and what the trigger point is. So, and as I mentioned, sorry.
I would just want to add to that.
Yeah.
Stress is a big factor. So it may not be pranayama or meditation, but you need to actually be able to figure out what can help you combat that. because in both situations that I mentioned, stress was a big factor and it made it a lot worse. So as soon as I started doing it, I remember back in 2017 when I was doing pranayama. I think I was sincerely doing it for 3 months, and sometimes I would spend up to an hour doing it every morning. That definitely helped, and I could see the results.
Right.
So whatever works for you, you have to just persist with it.
And would you recommend to our viewers here that it's nice to keep a diary for people that suffer from a chronic illness? It doesn't have to be Crohn's or colitis. Unfortunately, the reason for this share is a lot of people don't know about Crohn's and colitis, and it's been out there for such a long time. Generally affects a lot of the black minorities and Indians. However, a lot of we do know through statistics that it is widely spreading, and people are brushing it off with that you've just got IBS or IBD or stomach cramps, or it's nice to get it checked out. So it's nice to hear that stress does cause one of the reasons why I had a major flare up over the year, especially this year, because my whole life changed from something that was great to one day something that just completely came to my lowest point, and where I have not suffered my flare-ups for 7 years. Since 2011, I have been taken off medication. I've been discharged from the hospital, and it's so weird that 1 second, one day can change your life. And because I was still doing the meditation, my stress levels were still so high from something that happened in my life recently that all of a sudden that flare up was so bad that I then had to be put on another specific treatment. And as I said, recently, I just had a colonoscopy, and they actually surprised that how I'm not in actual any pain, because when they did the colonoscopy, going back to my initial live, my colon was so inflamed that they were actually shocked. We don't know what's going to happen now. We're still waiting for results and so on. But it's so weird, that was never the case for about 6-7 years, whether it was my diet that I changed, and I did a lot of Ayurvedic, as I mentioned in my first live. But it's so weird that one day complete everything I did for 6 years and maintained it, just that trigger, stress, completely changed the state of my colon. And it was just that one trigger, nothing else. Other things have impact to it, because due to me being at a low point, I started drinking a lot more because I thought alcohol was keeping me sane. In actual fact, it wasn't. It was making everything worse. I went back to my old habits, and all I wanted to do, that was my safe zone. And it's so weird, because I think sometimes where you think it's your safe zone, it's actually not. You need to step out of that zone to understand why something is happening. It's taken me a long time to get there after my low point. However, the only way I can go is up, and through a lot of meditation, through my lovely, and as I said, I keep mentioning this, but I'm so grateful to my coaches such as Jay Shetty and Viraj and Jainal. And I've got such a lovely support network. I can see one of them on live now. It's Charmy. Hello, Charmy. And Savi, Delia. Much love to you guys, because we've got a lovely support network, as well as my immediate family, that I've come a long way. And all I can do now is I can support and, try and help other people. Same with Sahil. We want to help other sufferers. And this live, I just want to make it clear, we're not doctors, and what works with us is never going to work. It might not work for you. I'm not expecting you to go and meditate 2 hours a day tomorrow. This is actually a discussion, say a panel of two.
Yeah.
But I want to make it into a discussion panel. So if you think someone who suffers from such illnesses, then please do invite them onto this live. This live is not about us two. It's about sharing our journey and what we went through to get to where we are now, and how we got there, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through diet change. This whole live is for people to come on board. I'm not expecting you to share your illnesses the way we have done. However, you can always drop us a Facebook message. You can always, if you've got my number, please do find me on Facebook. Give me a call. As I said, from my first live, my WhatsApp and my Facebook Messenger went completely crazy, and so many people that I know came out with they've got Crohn's or they've got colitis or they're suffering from this. And I'm like, wow, okay. No one knows, because it's, especially with Crohn's and colitis, it's a very, how would you put it? Is it very
Well, it's very difficult to discuss because I'll share my experience. Apart from family, when you go out, either you're too scared if you're, eat outside.
Yeah.
Can I find a bathroom somewhere? Or people think it's funny because you have to just all of a sudden run, but it's not actually funny because you are actually suffering from it.
It's so, yeah.
And that's the whole point of actually sharing it, is people can feel safe, I guess, that they have some sort of support that they can rely on. And we are there if someone needs any help.
Yeah.
We can try and help it in whichever way we can.
It's so funny because going back on Sahil's point, it is, that's the only reason it's an embarrassing illness, because you have to run to the toilet. There, in severe cases, I know so many people that suffer from Crohn's, and in severe cases, I know people that have had accidents while sitting there or while traveling because they can't get to a toilet. And people do think the funny side of it. Oh my God, look, he doesn't know how to control himself. If those are the type of people that you're hanging around with and they know what type of condition you're suffering from, then I know this sounds very, very harsh and very brutal. They're not your friends. You need to find someone else, because they're the ones that should be supporting you. They're the ones that's supposed to get out the train and find the nearest toilet for you, just to actually, again, it's stress, because you need to use the toilet. You then get stressed, and then all of a sudden you have a flare up. And it's not as easy as that, but that is the whole cycle, And there's one case where I was in Barcelona, and this was a couple of years back, and we were on this tour bus, and being Barcelona, you don't know where the nearest toilets are. Here, at least me and Sahil can actually plan our journey. And I'm so grateful to my brothers, because they knew that I went quiet, and they knew that, oh my God, I think he needs to use the toilet. That's the only time I go quiet. I don't talk. And because I need to try and focus away from that. It didn't help, because at that time I was suffering very bad. And my brothers actually said, forget the tour bus, let's get out, And we got out, and my God, my brother was 10 steps ahead of me, trying to find a hotel or trying to find Starbucks and unfortunately the radar key that I was talking about, it only works in the UK. So when you're in a different country, especially India, it is so hard to find a toilet. It's getting better, but if you're hanging around with the right people, it makes your life so much easier, because you don't have to be ashamed. And I'm not going to talk about someone else, but I've got my lovely Delia live at the moment. Me, Delia, and Viraj went to Barcelona 2 weeks ago. As I said in my last live, I had the same issue, in terms of I had to go to a toilet while we were just about to get on the transport link to the airport. And it was either I go to the toilet or we miss the train, and then we get late to the airport. And all these thoughts are going through my mind. However, Viraj and Delia said, nope, let's go. Let's try and find a toilet. I'm the one that said, no, let's just get on this train and I'll do the 40-minute journey. However, through meditation on the train actually helped me get to that point, to that next level. So it's what Sahil was saying, stress and it's the embarrassment, because there's people with severe cases also, they might just the wind side of things, it's not nice, we know, but that's something that we can't control. all of a sudden, you can hear the stomach rumbling, and you can imagine people that have had, severe cases where they've actually had to have a bag put in. You can imagine the emotional trauma or stress that they must be going through, and all we can do is be there and support them. And the easiest way to support them, if you really want to support them, is listen to them. Then on top of all of that, you can actually go on Google and do some research. And I just found one thing, and I'm just going to share this. Actually, I'll put this on the link later on this link. But there's a website which is www.crohnsandcolitis.org.uk, and if I just I'll just show you, just so you know how to smell it, because some people spell Crohn's in very different ways. But I don't think you can see it. There we go. Okay, so that's the website. Just giving you a chance to quickly write it or take a snapshot. And that is where I got my radar key. That's where I got the toilet card to say, please let me use the toilet because I suffer from an illness. And when my parents did not understand what I had, you can also get from the website a Gujarati or Hindi or whatever language you speak. You can actually get a publication explaining what Crohn's and colitis is in that language. So please do visit the website, because there's also so many other. Sorry, I know I keep saying I need to practice that, but I just said it again. You need to stop me, mate. This is why you're here, and I'm just going to say.
I'm going to
again.
pick on you now.
I was going to say again.
Well, can I just add something?
Yeah, of course you can.
So, with meditation, I think the other technique I've learned is to be an independent observer when I have that cramping or pain going through my body. So that's what I would suggest is when you have pain, remember it will subside soon. But when you actually learn to watch it, it affects you less than it would otherwise.
Excellent. That is good to know. And
so
I think
that's how I think you combat with stress as well.
Is there any other thing that you can point out about the early side of picking up this illness before it gets worse? Like, do you think there are any signs, for example, if someone has eaten pizza, should I say, and has stomach cramps the next day, and then a month later, and then 3 months later, do you think they should still think it's because of that pizza and food poisoning, or do you think they should go to the doctors and just go and get yourself checked out? Because colonoscopy is not nice, by the way.
It's not. It's one of the most horrible experiences to have, actually.
I'm not going to say what it feels like, but you get used to it. And now I watch it on the big screen, and I love it because my doctor talks me through it, and it's pretty cool. But it's not everyone's preference, and I think a lot of people try and avoid that. So what they will do is they will try and avoid going to the doctors because they're too scared of what's going to come next. But sometimes blood tests, barium tests, ultrasound, this is all the stuff that I've gone through to get to me actually having a colonoscopy done. And only when they did the colonoscopy did they actually find out that I've got Crohn's. So unfortunately, blood tests and stuff, they can check your markers, but they can't actually check the underlying issue of what you have. And as Sahil said,
I think it's good you mentioned that as well, because I've had a blood test done since I moved to the UK. Everything's normal, but I still have instances where I still have cramping or something. Generally I think it's under control, but blood test doesn't really give you all the information that you need. So you actually need to make sure you get a colonoscopy done at least every 5 years. But just going back to your point as to how you can figure out, as I was saying, you actually need to look at, are the symptoms abnormal when you are eating the same kind of food? I personally didn't pay that much attention as I should have. in hindsight. Because as I was saying, I was having morning sickness
Okay.
when I was waking up. I remember back around in 2011 or something. At that time, I ignored it, but I was already seeing a little bit of blood coming out. But again, I had ignored it until one day it just burst out, and obviously I had to do something about it.
Yeah, of course. And that's a good thing, because at least you didn't let it go. You sort of noticed that there's something wrong and actually going ahead with it, you know. So, and again, you know, guys, please do share this, because
I think Emma's got a question.
Emma, so
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma. And hi, Delia, again. I know you're having your colonoscopy at the end of April. So look, all the best with that, and do not think about it too much, because whether you have your colonoscopy today, tomorrow, next month, the results are always going to be the same. And I think I've realized one thing: the more you think about it, it's so weird, because the more you think about it, I think it's just I think that actually makes it worse.
Yeah, because you are, again, as you said, you're stressing about it.
Yeah, so
it's just making it worse.
It's I know this is not easy, guys. So and again, I've come a long way to where I was when I got diagnosed 22 years ago or 23 years ago or something like that. But it's been a journey, a very, very painful but good journey, because you have to go through that in order to do what we're doing now, because there's no point doing something now if I didn't feel good, you know. And yeah, as I said, just try and feel good. We are all here, especially me and Sahil are definitely here to support anyone. I know a lot of people that might be watching now or might have seen the video will not want to share their story at this precise moment. But, you know, please do Facebook us, whether it's private. You know, I gave my number out on my previous live. So just Facebook me. I will be happy to give you my number if you want to talk about it. Hey, Hemang, much love, bro. Thank you very much. And, you know, there's one thing I just wanted to point out, and it just clicked, was some people haven't seen my previous live, and I'm sure Sahil will back me up on this, that when I'm not trying to offend any doctors, or especially doctors watching, but when you do have Crohn's, it's very easy for someone to just prescribe you a medication. Because I'm not saying that they don't have much time with you. I think when I was back in uni, I think they have 3.5 minutes per patient. That's an actual fact. Doctors have 3.5 minutes per patient. And if you go to the doctors next time, you will realize that when you actually, the GP, when you speak to them about your condition, a lot of them do not even look at you, you know. So they're writing stuff down, they're making notes, and they're like, okay, I know what you need. You need to have 6 steroids a day. And you think, wow, this person actually read my mind. Like she's got X-ray vision, or he's got X-ray vision, that all of a sudden, you know how badly my Crohn's was inflamed, that he's just given me 6 steroids a day. Don't get me wrong, the steroids were wicked because they made me hungry. I put on a little bit of weight. Some people, you know, who know me, I'm not the biggest of all. But yeah, it made me feel good. You know, I put on weight. I was loving it. I had energy. It made me eat. And then, unfortunately, you can't take steroids for the rest of your life. So when you come off it, then you feel like the complete opposite.
Steroids are horrible.
Which you don't want to go through, trust me. And so my whole point, sorry, coming back to my point, was when you go to doctors, when they do prescribe you something, don't be afraid. Ask them, what is this? Why do I need it at this point? What's the reason for you prescribing me this medication? And guys, it's your illness, okay? I know you have a condition. We all know there's so many other conditions around. The doctors can only help you this much. You can help yourself this much. I can't preach that a lot because there's a lot of stuff that I should be doing. For example, going to the gym, eating a lot healthily, but I just tend not to because I love life too much at the moment. That because I love life, my health is wicked. Unfortunately, I know it isn't inside, but I love, I'm not in any pain, and I just take each day at a time. I'm just grateful that I wake up in the morning, to be honest with you. And when people hear that, they're like, why are you thinking like that? And I said, because while you wake up in the morning, there's thousands of people not waking up. They're dying in their sleep, unfortunately. So you know what? Pinch yourself, enjoy life, work, do whatever only you know what you need to do. So do your own research, guys. The other thing is please, when you do get prescribed a medication, please do ask them what are the side effects, because unfortunately they don't do that. They give you a little piece of note to say read it. You don't read it, and then all of a sudden, because of taking prednisolone, which is the steroid, 6 steroids, and then all of a sudden I found out at the age of 22 I had osteoporosis. And when I looked up at osteoporosis, I was like, that's someone who suffers when they're at that old age. But no, I had osteoporosis because of taking my my steroids. And then they gave me another medication, and then as a result of that medication, I ended up suffering a very, very bad case of pancreatitis. And it came to that point where I just gave up medication completely, and I think doctors were shocked after 7 years when I went that I'm not on anything at all. And I have not been to the hospital at all in the 7 years. And they don't understand how I've controlled my Crohn's without taking anything or going to the hospital or going to the GP and so on. And it just took one thing, which was stress. And that's why they say stress is a killer. Have a balanced diet, go gym, do whatever you need to do. But it doesn't matter, because if you're stressed every single minute, those things are not going to help you. That is the bigger. You have to have that balance, have that mindfulness. And I'm sure you agree.
Well, it is a psychosomatic disease, any doctor will tell you. But the one thing I would say is any gastroenterologist will tell you that this is an incurable disease. What I think, and I mean, as I said, I've had it for 6 years, but I don't necessarily believe that your body doesn't have the power to cure it, because you have any external wound and you'll see, after a certain time, your body's going to heal it. So it's just finding what works for you and sticking to that. And I think eventually you will find a cure for it. But if you believe that you're never going to get healed from it, chances are you probably won't.
That's true. And yeah, it's good because colitis, Crohn's, same thing, same branch. Unfortunately, where it can lead later, it's not the best. But we can deal with that when we.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't have to.
I was just gonna say we could deal with that when we get it, but no. That's just don't forget that. We'll edit that out later. But just before we finish off, Sahil, it's been so lovely to be joined by you, and thank you very much for actually sharing your journey. Is there anything else that you wanted to add just before we finish off?
I guess for future discussions, what I would suggest is, I guess we could bring to the audience cases where people have actually healed themselves using alternative treatments, or just using natural remedies and just changing the diet. Because I know I've seen cases like that, but I personally haven't done that.
Okay.
But in terms of what I want to add, probably just want to say it was nice to share my story with you, and if anyone needs any support, I'm here.
Thank you. As I said, Sahil has been tagged into the post as well, so please do reach out. It doesn't have to be me, doesn't even have to be Sahil. We're here just to share it. As I said, we're not doctors, so if you know anyone or you think you know someone that suffers from Crohn's, why don't you do something different and actually talk about it with that person and actually share your journeys together? because that will help you connect to a different level. Or you might find out that your cousin's friend or your friend's cousin or whatever it is, the more you open up, the more people will come to you. And how great will it feel that you've just had that extra input in helping someone else who suffers from the same illness? So you don't have to do research because you already know what you suffer from. It's so much easier than actually trying to do a whole course of meditation where you need to know the philosophies and, everything, the mantras and everything else that goes, behind the scenes. This is so much easier because it's sharing your own story with another person who can then hopefully share it with another person, and we can grow so big and so huge as a community that hopefully one of us can actually help the doctors and find a cure. Only because we can share what we're going through. The doctors don't know what we're going through.
Well, doctors never touch on the emotional side.
Correct. Well, saying that, doctors don't touch on the emotional side. Doctors, well, as I said, they do see the physical side, especially when you have a colonoscopy. Let me just put it that way. They see a lot more than what we even knew. Like, as I said, I love it now because I actually asked for a nice video to go with it as my leaving present, so I can have the fun of watching it at home and where everything is. But no, jokes aside, do please, please do share, because only you can be the emotional support for someone else. And the doctors they only see, they're not going through the pain. They can only see, and they only can listen to what we're saying to them. And I don't know if you ever realize this, but there is a medical website, and I'm not saying don't do medicine, by the way, that you need a lot of knowledge to get to where you are to study medicine. But even then, when you go through your symptoms and everything else, if it was something new, they actually go on a website and type in the symptoms, and then they narrow out what you've got. So they can only hear your pain. You are the ones that feel the pain. So if you can share that with someone else who feels the pain, you don't have to be embarrassed, because if someone goes to you that I use the toilet 15 times a day, you can say, oh, okay, wow. There's so many things you can help them with, because you're not going to be judgmental, because you're not going to think, oh God, why 15 times a day? Or you can make it into a game and say, oh, I beat you today. Make it into a game. Make it fun. Make Crohn's fun. I went to the toilet 20 times a day. Okay, let's try and share WhatsApp photos of our poo. No, don't do that.
No, come on, man.
I'm not doing it.
Don't do that.
Nah. So, okay, so guys, look, I hope you found this useful. Please do share this. Not for me, not for him.
Let's just remember, we are trying to share our experience.
We are trying to share our experience.
Because clearly we are not.
We are not the experts, correct. No one is an expert in their field. Everyone is always learning and educating themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. I thought it was a comment, but it wasn't. Savi, hello. Thank you very much. You know what? You've been an amazing support, and loved the last 2 days with you, and it was amazing. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, hopefully. And please, do turn up. Don't be late. Charmy. It's hard for us to open up. It's been very difficult. Something has clicked, and I don't know what it was when I did that live last week. And I think it's the comments that I got from it, where I thought, wow, do you know what? Actually, this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. My passion is DJing. Okay, my passion is events. My passion is actually making my clients happy. And it's the courses that I've done recently, listening to my coaches. I was like, why can't I do this? What am I scared about? I face and I DJ in front of 500, 600 people, and I can't even sit on Facebook Live connecting to people who I don't know. And so it's something that triggered something, and this is my purpose now, to actually raise awareness of Crohn's, colitis, and helping others who suffer from another chronic condition or whatever it is. So now, thank you for that. And as I said, it has been hard, but You have been an amazing support, Charmy. Much love to you. You're like one of my sisters. Delia, here we go. Stress, yes, Delia. Stress does affect IBS on it, and as I said, when you have your endoscopy or colonoscopy at the end of April, just go in there open-minded and ask questions. That's all I can say. You don't. I don't have sedation anymore because I don't want to stay in hospital 3 hours, whereas I can be there 10 minutes and out. But I've got used to that now. So, but yeah, ask questions. And if you are having sedation and someone says, "Oh God, it takes 10 minutes. Why are you having sedation?" Who cares? Yeah.
The other thing I want to add
Yeah.
is, how you asked me, how did you actually figure out that you had colitis?
Yeah.
What I would say is, even if it's ongoing, make a note of the symptoms you're having before you speak to the doctor. It does help, definitely.
Good.
It gives you clarity as to what you want to ask.
I'm glad you mentioned that, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. Write down your symptoms, guys. You can't remember everything. And even if it means writing down second to second of when you're using the toilet, what time you're eating, what time you drank water, what time you ate this, and what time you went to sleep, do it. Do it, because that will help you. I mentioned in my last live, do something called automatic writing, which is waking up in the morning, picking up a pen, just writing. Don't think about what you're writing, just write. The pen will do the work. And then don't look at that. Go to work, have your normal day. And when you come back in the evening, go back to that writing, see what you've actually written. Because then you can reflect back on your thoughts. The things that you came out with, that wasn't you thinking, that was just your mind just literally putting everything out on paper. And then you can reflect back thinking, oh, why was I thinking that? That's not just to do with the condition or health or whatever it is, but I think it's just to do with just the mindfulness and just the overall life. So yeah, and it's something that helped me. I did automatic writing for 2 years when I was on a diet, the wheat-free, gluten-free and dairy-free diet, which again, I'm so grateful and love Sarita, because she made me get to a point where I am now with her support. Yeah, I can only love her so much. But please do that. It helps, and I can only tell you what helped me. Hopefully it will help you. If it doesn't help me, there's nothing wrong with that. If it doesn't help you, nothing wrong with that. Don't expect something to change tomorrow. You have to keep trying it every day. I remember something that one of my coaches put up just recently, 2 days ago, I think, and like Janal Mystery, and he put up something where if you're planting seeds, you can't expect that to be a plant tomorrow. You have to keep watering it. Otherwise, it's not going to grow. You have to nurture it. And in time, through practice, that thing will grow. Okay? So think of yourself, even at your low point, think of yourself as a small seed. You have to take whatever comes at you, okay, and actually not just brush it off, but think about it, and make yourself grow. And if you have that mindset, you will get to that place where you want it to, whether it's 6 foot high, 7 foot high, wherever it is. Anything is possible. But what happens is our ego gets in the way. Like I mentioned yesterday, don't let ego take over your life. Same thing with Crohn's and colitis. Don't let Crohn's and colitis actually take over you. You have to control it, because it is just it, right? It is a condition. I understand that. But the more that you think that it's a condition, the more that's what your mind is going to tell you. It's a condition. I need to do this. I'm going to go traveling today, so I need to take Imodium. I need to have tissues with me. Don't think like that. Instead, think, I have it. Right? It could mean anything. And if you have that, if you repeat that every single day, all of a sudden, you will be living life, because you've got it, but that's because you know how to control it. You don't have to control Crohn's because you're thinking too much into Crohn's. I have to go on a journey. I have to find what toilets were. Nothing wrong with that. I completely understand. I've been there. But that's the only way that you can move forward. Otherwise, if Crohn's takes over you, there's nothing that you can do to bring it back. There is, which is having steroids, which is getting put back onto some hardcore medication. So just try and manage it. Use meditation, use walking, swimming, whatever keeps your mind off Crohn's.
And I think the happier you are,
Be happy.
The better you'll be able to combat with the disease, I think. Otherwise, you end up living in that fear as well.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? What if I don't find the toilet? Or, what if I have another flare? It's just what ifs, and it's a constant cycle.
Yeah. So I agree with Sahil. So I think what we should do is, we'll try and do a little challenge, and we've got a lot more lives coming up. But just for 1 week, starting today, 1 week, every single morning, wake up, actually pinch yourself or slap yourself in the morning. First thing, don't check your phone, please. Don't check Facebook, don't check LinkedIn, anything. That can come after, okay? But in the morning, wake up in the morning, pinch yourself, slap yourself, and just be grateful that you actually woke up. That's all I want you to do. Just be grateful that you're awake and look forward to the day. Forget about what's happening tomorrow. Look forward to that day, because you don't know if whatever happens today, tomorrow, whatever it is. Be happy on that day. Live in the present moment. Try not to think too much about the past or the future. Think about the past, reflect on it, move on. Do what you need to do. Action. Okay? So, yeah, I think we've filled you in with a lot more info than we expected.
Originally planned.
Yeah, we didn't. We thought it was going to be about half an hour. But look, I'm just glad that we've got questions coming through, and once again,
want to scroll down.
So grateful for you guys joining. Delia, rushing to the toilet. Yeah, I know, rushing to the toilet is no fun at all, but it has to be done. And the way I used to do it is every time I had to go to a toilet, because I was ashamed of what people will think, I used to take out my phone, put my ringer on silent, and actually pretend someone called me. And because it was so noisy in the restaurant, I would go out. But what they didn't see is I wasn't going out, I was going to a toilet. So yeah, I hope that helps. Try that. It actually works. Hopefully the people you're going out with don't actually watch this. But yeah, do that. It does help. Because your mind, it changes your mindset, because you're picking up that phone, you're thinking just automatically that, oh my God, they're going to think that I'm on my phone, which is why I moved away, which makes you be in that safe zone again, because I don't mean this in a harsh way, but I think it's you're afraid, and it's not fun at all, because you're thinking about what other people are going to judge you on. So yeah, if that helps, then yeah, please feel free to do that, and let me know the results. Let me know what happens, and please do let me know your results. It'll be nice to know your results when you've had your colonoscopy and endoscopy, and I'm sure everything's fine. It's just your normal standard procedure that they have to do to make sure that everything is perfect. Emma, so starting to do tests tomorrow to find out what's causing these symptoms. It's good. Do the tests, because as I said, me and Sahil are not doctors. So please do the tests, because only by doing tests, it gives you a peace of mind, whether not just what you have, but it's nice to do a test before it gets to that point where there's nothing that can be done. And I'm not trying to scare anyone here, but where people avoid it. And as I mentioned, I really, really highly recommend, please watch this show on Netflix. It's called Heal, okay? HEAL. It's a 2-hour documentary. Please watch it, guys. It's amazing, okay? And it puts your mindset, it changes your mindset. So please do what, because especially when people suffer from a chronic condition, that's all it's about, and what your body is capable of doing, Okay, so, and that's something that did help me, and I only watched it about 2 months ago, but I loved it. So please do watch that. So yeah, please, I hope your tests go well, and I'm sure it's nothing serious. And it's even if something does come out of it, at least you know what it is, because then you can do some research, then you know how to act on what you've just found out. You use deep breathing. Excellent.
Fantastic.
For refocus when the pain and urgency hits.
That's great.
That's amazing, because if that's what it takes and helps you divert your mind into a positive thought, and if that actually helps, then how weird is that? Because you actually didn't have to go in the first place. If you can use meditation to stop going to the toilet and having the urgency, you really didn't have to go in the first place. It's your mind that told you, I'm on a journey which is 2 hours long. Where am I going to find a toilet? And because that got stuck in your head, there's no toilet, there's no toilet, there's no toilet. All of a sudden you had to go. But you focused your energy and meditated. Whatever you're meditating, even reading a book is meditating, because you're focused on the book and not just sitting there thinking, where's my next toilet? Where's my next station? I'm only telling you this. I've gone through it. I do it.
Even I agree with you.
Yeah?
Because I've had days
I used to do that.
It's just been a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
You get to the end of it and you're like, wow, I didn't even think about my condition. As if it never existed.
Exactly my point.
I think it's just in your mind sometimes.
Exactly. I know people that plan their journey. I know people that will say to me, we can't come out because it's London. I'm like, why? Because on the Bakerloo line, there's no toilets. It's like, wow, okay. Then we'll do another tour. Because I'm a friend to this person, I actually said to them that I don't care. We'll take 5 journeys if we have to. So the Metropolitan line has a toilet nearly at every station. So we took the Met line to somewhere. And then we took another line. And then I knew that if we did have to come out of the station, I knew where the toilets were. And I've got a radar key, which helps. Okay, so we'll open any disabled toilet in the entire UK. So do get a radar key. It's £4.99, something like that. But trust me, it's the best thing I've ever got, because consciously, I don't think about the toilet. Because if I do, I know I have the radar key. Okay, so no, I'm so happy to hear that, Emma, that meditation does help you. Definitely asking for sedation. Nothing wrong with that. Please do. You know what? No one is as mad as me, and yeah, it's weird because I even asked for the video, as I mentioned. But no, that please do ask for sedation. It's not the best thing to go through, but if it helps you, then yeah, please do. The only difference is without sedation. You've got 3 choices, by the way, just so you know. You've got without sedation, which is about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that means nothing. Then the other thing that they can do, you can still have the 10-minute procedure, but they will give you gas and air, and that actually helps. I'm sure it's not laughing gas, but yeah, it's just gas.
It's definitely not.
Gas
it's
and air. Yeah. They can also give you something called a quick, just an injection of Buscopan. And what Buscopan does, it's a relaxant. So it relaxes your muscles. So where you are getting tensed up when they're putting the camera inside, and you actually think, okay, I don't like this, and you're getting tensed up, because people think, because there's a pipe going, it's not an actual, you can actually still sit on your backside. Is that the right word? Yeah. I was going to use another word, but I think, yeah. Sit on your bottom. Yeah. That's it. You can still sit on your bottom and have that pipe in, and it won't affect you. But because of our mental state, our state of mind, we think, oh my God, there's something at the back, so we can't sit like that. But you can. But because we think like that, we tense up. So they can give you something called Buscopan, which relaxes the muscles. Okay, so yeah, and then again, that's a 10-minute procedure. Or you can have the proper sedation, which completely will knock you out for about a good 2 hours. And yeah, then you can only go home, I think, and I'm sure it's an hour after you get up and they see that you're okay. But please do not drive, because Buscopan blurs vision in some people. And so yeah, please don't drive. Make sure you get someone to pick you up. I think a lot of the hospitals, especially St. Mark's in Harrow, they actually will check to see who's picking you up before they actually even do sedation and Buscopan. So yeah, please don't drive. It's not worth it. Get a cab, because you don't want to come out feeling fine and finding out there's nothing wrong, and then unfortunately having something wrong when you're driving back home. So yeah, please do not drive. So how is it to diagnose? Sorry, Emma, I'm just reading your message. Don't avoid it. Yeah, so I'm glad. Look,
Just don't
forget the past. Yeah, I'm great. It's so nice to hear that you're doing it. That's the main thing. Focus on that. Forget the past. You've done what you need to get to where you are now. You know, it's not long to go. Just it will work out, and it's easy when you've just put down how easy is it to diagnose. It is easy, because what they will do is, once they've got the tube in there, they will go through the entire colon and the small colon, and you know they will actually check the whole sort of lower bowel section, so they can check the inflammation. They take photos. I'm not going to show you my photos, of course, but you know they show you images where it's red, where it's inflamed. They can identify polyps and bleeding
as well,
yeah, and they will do a biopsy, so which I think that takes about a week or two for the results to come back. But there's plenty of ways, and at least the only thing which I realized is, for a long time they couldn't figure out whether I've got Crohn's or colitis. I still think after 23 years, I still think they don't know what I have, because every time I go to the hospital to have a colonoscopy, and I know I'm laughing about this, but this is what makes me think, have I got any of them?
It's just all in your mind.
It's just all, yeah. But yeah, it's just so weird. It really does make me think, do I have any of them? But yeah, it is very easy to diagnose, and then, you know, do your follow-ups, you know, listen to what they have to say, and then ask. Main thing is, what I didn't ask questions. I was too terrified of what I had, and I always thought the doctors know well, you know, and until sort of growing up and thinking, no, you know, I can actually do this on my own. So yeah, ask questions. Nothing wrong with asking questions. That's why they're there. That's why we are here.
And don't just, you know, take their word that it can't be cured.
Yeah.
Never believe that. That's what I would say.
Okay. Hemang, much love, bro. I know I said that already, but Hemang is joining us all the way from States, I think. Yeah, I should know this, but sorry, bro. States or Canada, one of them. Western medication has side effects. Yes, I know, Delia. You know what? This is why I don't take any Western medication. But as I said, please, we're not doctors, so don't just follow us. Emotional side effects we touched upon. Charmy, that's such a nice thought. If you are planting a seed, you won't become a plant overnight. That's not my saying, by the way. That's my lovely, lovely coach, Janel, who put that up 2 days ago. And much love to that. And Dejel, hello. How are you? Emma, I haven't managed to stop it, just delay and not completely panic. I've just been told it's IBS for years, but it's much more painful now. This has really helped. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Look, thank you to you, Emma. And thank you for everyone that has been sharing my lovely, the lives, my lovely lives, meaning, you know, it's so hard to talk about what you go through. And actually, I love it now. I feel meditated now than ever, because I'm in no pain. It's like, you know, I had to go to a toilet. We've been on live for about 1 hour, 5 minutes.
Haven't thought about it.
But I'm sure I had to go to the toilet about twice now. But it's just, I'm so into this that my mind, I'm focused on you guys, on serving you. I don't, you know, it's not about me. It's not about my toilet. My toilet can wait. Clearly it can, because I'm still sitting here. You see me moving around a couple of times, but yeah, that's maybe why. But no, look, guys, I'm seriously, this has been amazing, and I hope this has helped you guys. I know it's helped Emma. I know Delia has come out with a lot of questions as well, and thank you so much. I have been, again, I can only say thank you to my boy. Where are you?
No, thank you for having me.
Sahil,
I've enjoyed
and
opening up. And
for him opening up and sharing. It's not
help someone.
easy when you don't know who's actually viewing this, and please do share, okay? And that's the only thing, that's the only comment I'm going to leave you with. Please share this video. There are so many people suffering. I'm hoping this video will help them. I'm hoping this video will make them share their condition with their immediate family, their cousins, their friends. And I'm hoping that this will actually create their own support network wherever you are in the world. We have such a powerful tool, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. We need to use it to help others instead of putting up what we ate today and what we did today and how many
Pictures of
times I
cats.
fell asleep and
Videos of cats, you know.
yeah, old videos of cats. Yeah. When did we hear that? Oh yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah, the
Expert Empires. Yeah. So but yeah, look guys, thank you very much. Just so you know, we've got a few more lives lined up. I'm going to be joined by someone amazing who has literally gone from a friend to a sister to who is so close to me, and I will mention her name once we have a date fixed. But we're going to go through what she's suffering from, which is thyroid.
Oh, she's joined.
Bunam, how are you? Anita?
I think she's gonna live 100 years.
So Bunam, you're going to live 100 years. We were just mentioning you, and who is Atish Halavate. So yes, Bunam, we're going to have a live soon, and we're going to discuss living with a thyroid condition, which a lot of people do. Hi Bunam, everyone, meet Bunam. She's going to be featured in my next live, and I'm so grateful to her for sharing her journey living with what is she living? Thyroid. And I'm also going to be doing another live a week after, hopefully, with someone who actually suffers from a blood disorder called thalassemia. So once again, please do join in and share this. So if you know anyone who suffers from thyroid issues, I know it's very well known. It's, you know, people are aware of, but it's nice to hear someone else's journey and what they've done, and you know how they felt emotionally, physically, and so on. And I think the thalassemia one is going to be a very big one. I'm so looking forward to that. And yes, I definitely so grateful for all of you guys. And if you want to share any of your conditions that you're going through, or you know what, a condition could be anxiety, a condition could be stress, or whatever it is, you know, if you think you can help someone, then please do contact me. You know, this is something, as I said, this is my purpose. I want to make sure that people that suffer from chronic conditions, that we share it so we can help everyone else. Bunam has just mentioned, oh yeah, we need to schedule it. Well, Bunam, you need to be free. And Bunam again, it's underactive thyroid, just so you know. But yeah, please do join us, guys. It will be amazing to join us. Hi Mamta from the other room, and Kunj, what's up, boy? Hope everyone's well. Thank you very much.
Right.
Much gratitude to all of you. Remember the challenge for 1 week starting today. Wake up, slap yourself, pinch yourself, and just be happy that you woke up, because there are many people that are not waking up in the morning. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you at the next live next week, next Sunday. I'm hoping I will confirm that with Bunam, who's on live now, and we'll get a date in the diary, guys. But thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you for your comments. Please do Facebook me, please do Facebook Sahil, and we will try and help you in whichever way we can, or we'll put you through to the right people if we know someone that can help you even more in terms of a coach or someone who's spiritual or whatever it is. But yeah, we'll try and help wherever we can. Thank you very much, guys. Thank
you.
Thank you.